So, you know, knowing what you know, I mean, do you see any way to shift this, uh this train that's going on a, that's about to run off the tracks with these young people? Where do you see the shift coming? Because none of the people look up to these athletes and entertainers, but those aren't really the role models people should be looking up to.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're aware of the recent interview that Cat Williams did with Shannon Sharp, and throughout the interview, Cat Williams was saying that this year and these times is, the age of truth.
That's
So
right.
a lot of things are about to be exposed. Even this interview may potentially go viral, and a lot of things will be exposed. So, this year on, people gonna start seeing everything for what it really is. You know what I mean? And like you said, the community where I'm from, I'm pretty sure where you grew up at was probably not much different. But I grew up on a block. This 10th Street, we called it Dime Bag, but people on 10th Street didn't associate with people on 11th Street or 12th Street. You know what I'm saying? Or 9th Street. You know what I mean? So we on 10th Street, and we kind of like into it with people on the next block over on this side and the next block over on this side. I didn't understand it growing up, but I was riding for my block, whatever. I'm 10th Street. We gonna take on the world together. You know what I mean? But when I was growing up, like at an early age, when I was like 16 or 17, I became like a leader in my hood. All my peers and those that was younger than me looked up to me. And I became like the main guy in the hood. And when I did, I didn't understand why people was into it with people on 9th Street or 11th Street, and I was cool with certain people. So I brought the hood together. You know what I'm saying? Not just 10th Street, but 11th Street, 12th Street, 9th Street. People start, associating people on 10th Street hanging on 11th Street now or 12th Street, and they on our block. Before my time, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? So I just we just need more people with leadership abilities to actually stand up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, people like me or other people with leadership abilities might appear to be lame or soft because like before I get to the point where I feel like I'm finna go kill somebody or gotta kill somebody, I'll try to resolve it. I'll make a call. I'm pulling up to people's hood by myself. You know what I'm saying? No gun. Like, man, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why is we even into it? You know what I mean? Like, it don't make no sense. And I'm still here today. I could have died doing that, but when people see that, they respect that. Like, damn, he came by himself, no
Yeah.
gun, no fear. You know what I mean? So I learned no fear from people like Malcolm X. You know what I mean? And I learned leadership ability from people like Larry Hoover. You know what I mean? And I studied people like them. You know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to become people like them. You know what I mean? And Jesus said in the Bible that we could do all that he did and even greater things. You know what I mean? So I have that type of mentality. Like, if Malcolm X did this or if Jesus did that, then I can do it. And I want to teach the youth, y'all can do it. But the powers that be don't want us to think like that. You know what I mean? They want us to fear them. They want us to stay in this little zone. Y'all can only become this and do that. But no, we could bring our community together. It just take leaders to step up and say, man, this shit's stupid what we doing. Like,
Yeah.
look at them Mexicans over there. They got restaurants and other businesses, and
Mm-hmm.
on the Mexican holiday, they all riding around with the Mexican flags out the window and shit. They
Yeah.
showing you like, why we can't come together and do that? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, in LA, I used to see all the time, man. Like you said, you go, to the Mexican, what is it, Cinco de Mayo, everybody down there chilling, having a good time,
Mhm.
And sharing and having their little fruit stands and stuff like this. And there's a level of respect. And the same thing, uh, Armenian pride. I've seen that. And when I go to Koreatown, I would see like, they respect their places, man. They have places there you can go and bathhouses and no, your stuff, ain't nobody robbing you. Ain't nobody stealing your stuff at those Korean spots, man. It's like you could leave your stuff there and come back an hour later. It's still there. So it's a certain level of respect and integrity. And that's what, we somehow have to get back to as a culture if we want to elevate going into the future. Otherwise, you're going to have a big separation. You're going to have those who are conscious, like yourself, myself, and others who are just way over here, and those who are, basically allowing themselves to run amok. They got a place for them. That Venezuelan, I seen it when they in Venezuela, that big ass prison, 10,000 people. They're showing you like, hey man, we got a place, and other places are looking at that like, oh shit, we can put 10,000 of these people up in here. And, when they get to prison, most of those cats ain't like you or myself. They're not going to go to the law library, and they're going to go in there and be, doing the same shit, banging and stuff because they're not very educated, so they're not really even going to try, and there's no rehabilitation. So, I just hope like a lot of people when, having you on the platform, sharing and showing how there can be change in conscious and elevation, that some of these young people will somehow find a message. Because I get called all the time a sellout. Oh, you're a black conservative. What a conservative, bro. I did everything. Conservative because I think that you shouldn't steal from people, and people should be able to go to the store and feel safe. Your mom, your daughter should feel like they don't have to worry about something happening to them. I mean, that's what our community should be about. And we got to start first in our communities, and then it branches out from there. Um, do you have, there any like, interesting stories you would like to share in regards to things that you went through that you think our fan base would be interested in? I mean, I know you've seen a lot, and like you said, Cat Williams is exposing a lot of what people didn't want to talk about. Everybody's walking on eggshells, but I think that, like you said, this is a time of awakening, man. A lot of things are, 2024. We're gonna see a lot of people get they wig split, man, with just information.
Yeah, we gonna see a lot of that for sure. First, I'd just like to say, I appreciate this opportunity to be on your platform, and also, you know, like I could tell that you actually a real dude who actually stand on real principles, because most of these podcast hosts and bloggers, you know, I actually stopped doing interviews like towards the end of 2023, because I was actually getting into it with a lot of hosts and bloggers on established platforms, because they wanted to focus on the fact that I was locked up with R. Kelly, in the
Mm.
publicity that Jay-Z had me shot. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't even have the type of talk, the real talk that we having right now, because it's like we want to focus on that. We want you to blame Jay-Z because you got shot. And I never really even blamed Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? The speculation was out there. I still don't know who shot me. So he could have had something to do with it, but I never wanted to blame Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And I never wanted to make all my interviews about R. Kelly. The first interview I did before I went viral and became known, around the nation, was based on a world court petition that I filed on the behalf of basically our whole culture, blacks, but more so, I focused in on the prison system, man, and just how unjust the system is, and people like me doing life for selling drugs, and just stuff like that. That was the basis of my interviews. But yes, I was locked up with R. Kelly, and so the first clip that went viral came from an interview that was based upon my world court petition, because I filed a lawsuit against the United States government in the International Court of Justice, which is the world court. I took it out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and United States court, as Malcolm X suggested
Mm-hmm.
probably 60 years ago. You know what I mean? And that's my only purpose for doing interviews. But the first clip went viral about R. Kelly, and that's all the other bloggers and podcast hosts wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about real shit that we talking about right now. So that's a story in itself, because you got to think, like, who controlling the narrative around the media? It's a certain narrative that they want everybody to focus in on. And the shit that we talking about is not a part of that narrative. They don't want people having this talk. They don't
No,
want
no,
people having the talk that Cat Williams had.
that's
And now
right.
that he went viral for having that talk, you know, it's gonna be a lot of other people having the courage, and a lot of other hosts willing to host people like that who willing to have that talk now. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, a lot more things will be revealed. But you know, the basis of my story is the story of all black men. You know, most of us come from dysfunctional families. You know, even, I mean, I'm not perfect. I can't say that I'm even a good dad now, and it's not because I don't want to be, but my relationship with my children's mothers is not that good. And you know, not to bash them, but sometimes you really have you know, mothers who probably want to be with the child's father, and they, if they find out you don't want to be with them, or you talking to somebody else, I mean, I understand it, but it's not right. But they won't let you be involved in your children's life, and that's very dysfunctional. And then sometimes it could be the father. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect, and maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it could be the father, and a lot of times it is. You know what I mean? Because mothers want to be mothers. Most fathers don't want to take on that responsibility, and that's just the fact. And even the mothers who don't want to be mothers, this baby came out your womb. You got to sign these papers in the hospital. These children stuck with you. The father don't got to go through that. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of work to do. But I think that with the lawsuit that I filed against the United States is a hell of a start. You know what I mean? I'm getting major people involved. I've been blacklisted, and, like, for example, I sent you last night
Mm-hmm.
the certified mail number from the letter that I wrote Larry Hoover. Now, if you look at it, it started being tracked December 26th, a day after Christmas. It was shipped out. He should have got that letter that same week. If you track that number, they still haven't delivered the letter. And
Why you
why?
think?
This the United, huh?
Why do you think they're so afraid to let Larry Hoover out when everybody on his case has gotten out? And then I remember whacking him got involved in all that stuff and the drama. I mean, why are they making such a big deal for him to why are they afraid of this man getting out of prison?
Well, for one, and shout out to Trump. And I know he's supported by the Ku Klux Klan and all that, but we need somebody like Trump to expose the system, and he doing that. But because of Trump, all the GDs on Larry Hoover case got out except for Larry Hoover.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so we got to salute Trump for that. And if we gonna vote for anybody, we need to vote for Trump.
Well,
I mean, you might not agree with that, but
no,
trust
no.
me,
Hey,
he exposing this system, and that's what niggas need right now.
well,
You know
see,
what I mean?
I'm right there. I'm right there with you though, because Trump was telling black people, if you got anybody in prison, holler at me. I will help them get out. He helped Harry O. All these other people got out. So when people don't realize Biden wrote the Crime Control Bill of 1984, I think it was 1980, the Crime Control Act under Clinton. They locked up more black people and Hispanics and minorities. Remember, under the crack law, that was all Biden. Biden spoke at the eulogy for the grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan when he died. That was his mentor. So how do you have this guy who was the mentor? His mentor was a Klansman. Now, whoever supports Donald Trump, man, we can't control that. But the thing is, before he became president, he helped out Mike Tyson. He was messing with Muhammad Ali, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent. Bro, he let a black woman live in his hotel when they tried to for free. He helped out Rosa Parks. He helped up a lot of people, man. He was never in the
And
race.
to this day,
Yeah,
that same black woman living in one of his towers rent
yeah,
free. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But nobody talks about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter, but for this campaign, hell yeah, I'm a support Trump. He let out, and it's not even about me being no GD. I don't even claim GD no more. You know, that's part of my upbringing, but it's not about him letting all the GDs out. Is that most of those GDs was black men. You know what I'm saying? And they had life. They would have never got out otherwise.
Yeah.
So he did something major for our culture. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just GDs, like you said, Harry, a lot of other people got out because of Trump. You know what I mean? Ain't no other president ever did that. You know what I mean? So, and he exposing the corruption in the system. We need somebody like that because slavery ain't how it was when they was forcing fathers to have sex with their daughters and mothers to have sex with their sons and hanging the fathers if you don't, or cut your balls off in front of your wife or your daughters if you don't. You know, we went through that for real, but slavery not like that no more. Slavery is we're gonna just we're gonna make these laws and trap them. That's why they call it the trap, because it's a real trap. You know, we're gonna trap them. We're gonna make these laws. We know they're in poverty already, so we're gonna put these drugs in their community. Somebody gonna sell the drugs. They want to be, you know, like us. They want to wear the brands that we made popular. Louis Vuitton. They want to drive the cars that we drive. You know what I mean? So this gonna be their outlet to do that. And then while they progressing and trying to do that, you know, we're gonna have informants around, the ones who jealous. We're gonna make them our informants, and we're gonna bring we're gonna bring them down, and then we can legally slay them again. You know what I mean? So slavery right now is it revolves around the music industry and in the prison industry, of course, and Trump exposing that. You know what I mean? So if we gonna end modern day slavery, we need to vote for Trump. You know what I mean? And Trump ain't paying me to say this. It's just I know what's going on with my people. You know, I I mean, Trump is the way right now.
Let me ask you something too, man. I mean, you see what's going on with, like, okay, we knew about redlining, okay, how that affected Black communities and buying real estate and, community growth and opportunity and, getting loans. Now, fast forward, and we have, okay, you have, certain athletes, entertainers, Black billionaires, but then we still have the situation where, in a lot of the Black communities, even when you had BLM, they didn't build no trade centers. There's no like skill, like learning how to weld, plumbing, HVAC, or construct. There's none of these valuable trades in the communities for young people to get involved in, which the trades was the foundation of America and the labor force. So now we replace that with, like you said, drugs, Dracos, lack of father figure, and then we bring in, flood the country with immigration. So we're gonna lock all you little Negroes up. You're gonna go to prison and work anyway, and you're gonna build desks. You're gonna do agriculture for us. You're gonna work on the highways for pennies on the dollar. We're gonna have all these immigrants come in and have them do all the jobs you didn't want to do. And so we're going to shift the labor force. So all your little kids, you're going to go visit them in prison. And then all the money you're sending in prison goes right to all the people who invested in the prisons, in the commissary, into the phone calls, into the kids and their gambling. So really you're draining the families on the street. The baby mom is sending it to her baby dad. He up in there gambling. He owe these niggas. And then you got him. He's working over here. And then they're taking that same stuff that they're building in prison, selling it to Home Depot, IKEA, Walmart. So your work is no matter what. We're gonna get your labor out of you, you little Black kids. We're gonna get it, but we're gonna have, since you don't want to act right, which you don't even know that we're setting you up. Because my opinion is, just like in California, it's a psyop. They're setting these kids up because they're thinking, oh man, I can steal under 900. I can do all this. Eventually, you're going to get outside of $900 and start stealing big shit, robbing, stealing dudes for that Rolex, robbing the weed man. Then you're going to get a real case. But see, we done built you up. mentally to be doing this. So you would have never, if you felt like if you stole a candy bar, your mom would beat, your dad would beat your ass, or you would get in trouble, or there's a consequence. But if you can keep getting away with shit broad daylight, you're like, shit, man. But man, all it is the homie gives you a pistol. It's just another level of the game. So now you're already programmed to rob. You just are robbing now with a tool. Now that becomes armed robbery. Now you're done. It's over 900. You done. Somebody got killed by accident. Somebody got shot. You're done. But we done got you out the way. You didn't even realize we set you up for that because we keep showing you people getting away. We keep showing you that little kids getting away, getting away, getting away. So black people who are in other places, like, or even any kids, even out here, man, they can do that and not get in trouble. Maybe we should try that. You see the big games that they're using now, man. It's a disgusting game, man. But that's what I see because I've been to juvenile hall and I see how they program you to sell. You know, once you, like you said, the dope is there, and if you sell it and you get in trouble and you get right back out, you're like, damn, I can go back and sell it again, then. So a lot of people don't grasp it, but that's what I see going on. And they're going to have these big places where they got cheap labor to compete with China, all this stuff being made cheap, you know, electronics and all type of stuff, because these people are working in prison, but you wouldn't work on the street. And then you can't see your kids. So now your kids are growing up without a father again, and the cycle's repeating. Same thing.